know we have a couple folks still getting food. Take your time, do what you need to do. Hopefully you can find a seat in here, and if you can't, we are live streaming over in the John Walsh space. They have graciously opened up their doors for us and are putting it on their TV in there. So, and there are extra chairs we can pull if people need seats over there, but we'll try to accommodate as best we can. I think it's amazing the turnout that we have today. Thank you all for joining us.
School is back in session.
School is back in session. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't hear any kids.
Okay. So if you're new to Keller Williams of Central PA, welcome to your first official team meeting with us. We are so glad to have you here. We have this little tradition that we do real quick, sorry, I do promise Chris.
Oh. No, go ahead. Yeah. No, other way.
Thanks. Okay. So we have this little tradition we do called Hugs and Kisses. So it's just a way for us to start our meetings, really coming from a place of gratitude and sharing some love in the form of kisses with people who have helped us, aided us, been there for us, supported us in whatever way, shape, or form that they may have done.
Look at Tracy.
So I don't know if there's anybody in here that might want to share some love. Tracy can't put her hand up any higher right now. Go ahead, Tracy.
I would like to give one to Damaris, Jason, and Tammy. Because while I
Why?
Can you get a real one?
while I was out recovering, the three of them pitched in and just kept my business up and running. I couldn't have done it without them.
Oh.
Get a TC, period.
What's a TC?
A transaction coordinator who were literally, without Tammy, I don't know where I'd be. I mean, Brittany, I'm sorry, I sent you, I don't know, drunken text from the pain meds.
Morphine text messages.
So, thank you to everybody who reached out and checked on me.
Love it, love it, love it. For anybody that needs a seat, there is one empty chair up here and there's one right here. There's one over there, so feel free to funnel on in, but yeah, see. Who else has some hugs and kisses? Adam.
I'm gonna give one to Bill Hench. Well, two reasons. One, he's over there.
Uh-huh.
Make him walk over here. And two, he makes me feel good about myself. When I'm having a bad day, I'm like, I could be worse. It could be Hench.
I could be done.
And so, another day.
I love it. I love it.
That's right.
Bill, I know you're watching. We'll make sure you get your chocolate. Don't worry, don't worry. Chris.
I'd like to give one to Tammy. Things have really picked up for us lately and my roles have been increasing. And so she's taken a lot off of my plate and she's listening to me talk and vent for 4 hours, 5 hours a day for the past 3 or 4 weeks. So.
I love that. Everybody. Is that?
I know, I'm not about this, but I'm gonna do one. I actually want to give one to Brittany and Shanice. At Mega Camp, I really got to know both of them more personally, and I thought that was actually a really, really good time.
I love that.
Yeah, at least exchange numbers with your friends.
I'm not good on personal relationships, but we're working on it. Those two are really close, so.
Roxy.
I'd like to give one to Erica. She's
She's in the watch party.
Okay.
Yeah.
because she had me on a podcast, and then Don, because he took me out to lunch.
Oh, that's great. Well,
I want to give one to Tammy. I've been using her for 3 years now, and not only is she amazing to my clients, but she helped me. I'm a control freak, most of you know that. So she helped me learn how to let go, which is also letting me learn how to let go of other things in my business. So I appreciate, where is she?
That's
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stay in your lane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stay in your lane.
Yeah.
Done.
I have a group to hand out to, so, let's go. I was in the hospital for a couple days for a seizure. So number one, Taylor gets one because she is now my chauffeur and she is so excited. And I also want to thank literally, if everybody could just get a kiss if they want one later, that reached out to me, that visited me in the hospital. And offered to give me rides or help with whatever. There was a ton of support and love from this room and everywhere around me. And especially Taylor, so she's been like above and beyond for me. And then also I want to give one to Ashley Wagner, who's actually here today. And she's been such a great help to the company, and obviously she's moving on, but she will be missed and we love her. And yeah, so thank you, Ash.
It's an appropriate time then.
I love it.
With Ashley's last team meeting, we have a gift from all of us. It's definitely bittersweet. We have enjoyed Ashley's time here. She's helped me grow as a leader, and watching her grow has been an absolute blessing. So this is from all of us here.
Yeah,
I would give one to Valerie Taylor. I'm not sure
Which ring
somewhere.
somewhere.
Somewhere, but she has been an accountability partner with me for since the pandemic. And I'm always amazed at the depth of her knowledge and willingness to share. And so she just, I thought I'd say.
Oh, I love that. She didn't hear you. She didn't hear you. I'm feeling the love. Anybody else?
You guys are great.
I'd like to give one to Maris, Shannon, Michelle, the whole leadership team. So with John's speaker, you know, my number one priority was how can I motivate Taylor's focus on being in that room and focus on John. I can't imagine being in her shoes. And with Maris, Shannon, and Michelle jumped right in to do their best to help cover the PD program and those students so they could have support. So thank you. And to the leadership team, which has had my back the last couple of months.
Yeah, I want to second that for everybody that's jumped in and helped. Ditto what Brittany said. So that I could be there for John. I'm really grateful, and the marriage for you taking the lead and maybe Doug as well. It's been incredible. And to everybody that was reached out to John and, you know, made special visits while we were sitting there in the hospital room, it definitely helped liven his spirit during the difficult time. So thank you.
So first, Chris, everybody wants to know, where did you get the number?
Yeah.
Well, I brought it up with you. So, lunch today was provided by I&E Craft Kitchen out of Hershey. They are a Mike Reamer contact, so, I think you use them for like your open house, like your luxury open houses and private events. So-
Yeah, the main chef is actually an Iron Chef.
Oh.
They have a stand at the Hershey Fresh Market and a very good friends of ours.
Yep, so, Mike, referred them to us, Tammy said, let's do it, and so, we have the menu up here. If anybody wants to look at it. Today, the first thing I want to do is introduce our new TC, Jennifer Layton. Jennifer is right here. She's our member to our team. For those of you who don't know or kind of know, our services include contract to close, our brand new service listing concierge, which I'll go over in a second. And then additional services that people may or may not know is that we do attend settlement for you if you can't make it. And then we also will write offers for you and put the whole package together. If you're out on the road and you're too busy, it is $50, whether the offer is accepted or not, but we do that for you. So the listing concierge, that has just been rolled out and it's been highly successful for the agents that have used it or using it right now. Brittany has talked at length about it before. Adam Osborne is currently using it and, you know, I'm not gonna speak for Adam, but Adam has said positive things about it so far.
Positive things about it.
Exactly. So, so anyways, the basics are, you get a listing agreement signed, you get a consumer notice, and you hand it to us, and we'll take care of the rest for you. That's the sign, lockbox, scheduling your pictures, you pay for the pictures, scheduling your staging, or any other services that you need, cleaning, junk removal, painting, et cetera, et cetera, so. So we can handle all that for you. We handle communications with the client until it goes under contract. We'd let them know what's going on every step of the way so that the client feels comfortable, not only with us handling it, but to ensure that you are a trusted agent of theirs for giving them or giving you your business. Next slide. So we had a podcast last week that we didn't have a name for our podcast. Me and Tammy, you've probably seen a couple of the videos. And so we asked for someone to, name it for us. Skylar came up with the winning name, so she gets a $50 off gift voucher for her PC service. So thank you, Skylar, for Precision Matters. That will be our podcast name going forward. Next slide.
That's good.
I talked to Scott about this. There is a lawsuit in California right now about showing time feedback. It's been popping up on social media. What happened, long story short, is that the buyer's agent provided feedback on the opinion of price, said that the price was too high. The sellers got offended by that suggestion, but they ended up going under contract with that particular buyer's agent. And so the seller, when the inspections came back, pretty much said, take it or leave it. We're not fixing anything. It was a real contentious transaction. And then at the end, at settlement table, the buyers found out that the reason why it was so contentious is because the buyer's agent provided feedback on the house being overpriced. So the buyers are suing the buyer's agent because they said that that agent broke the fiduciary duty to themselves, their client. So just a bit of warning out there, Scott referenced it as this is the slip and fall error of real estate right now because they saw the NAR settlement. And they're like, well, 1.8 billion sounds good. Maybe I can get 250K. So just be wary about what you're providing to people as far as not just feedback on showing time, but to the other agent, to other stakeholders, make sure that your confidentiality for your client is intact. Next slide. So this is our team. Tammy is the owner, if you don't know. I'm the general manager and Jennifer is our newest coordinator. And coming soon, at a later date, we'll announce our listing concierge coordinator, who we have a meeting with this week to finalize things. So we'll let you know about them coming forward. And then contact us. Transaction coordinating is not for the faint-hearted. It can be very rough, it can be very difficult, and be stressful and pressure filled, but that's why we do it because we're pretty good at it. And it's, taking some of the things that were said in the Mega Camp panel, find what you do well and then do that really well. And so that's kind of what, Tammy did starting the company. I started as an individual agent and this seems to be my niche, so I pivoted. And then, our value to you, because I'm not gonna sit here and list a million different services that we provide you. My value to you is time. And so the more time I save you, the more leads that you can generate. So. That's good. What's that? What?
One for Chris and one for Tammy. First time seeing them in person, but I've worked with them. And Chris was so nice saying hi to me outside and I was like, but I didn't know who she was. You're the best.
Thank you.
All right, for value award. So if you remember, last month's winner. So we would like to congratulate Zach Williamson and Michelle.
She'll be back.
She'll be back.
I won? Do I accept something?
Make eye contact.
Oh, maybe no, I'm scared of eye contact. I'm a millennial. I can't look at people. Yeah. I chose Michelle.
You chose.
Sorry,
Michelle.
Zach. I love you. I'd like to thank.
Difficult one.
I chose Zach because he's an incredibly helpful, kind soul here in the office. He always makes time for me to talk to me, especially at like team meetings, healing and stuff. Nice friendly face, and I look up to him a lot.
Break it up for a minute. Wanted to have some fun today. Don't mind the commercial because I don't pay for YouTube. Open and shift, we talked about cutting expenses. Okay. Margin. There's the skip button.
Right there.
Discount.
Good job, Brittany.
We're gonna do a couple of these, so just shout them out as you know it.
All right.
You said it.
All right, sounds good. That's definitely right.
You win $1 million.
Yeah.
There you go. Yours, Caleb, you don't know. No, I don't know that.
Dude, that was like my first nude thing. Came to band that day.
I had the two back pages.
I had it.
Jaws.
I didn't even hear it.
Oh, I didn't even hear it. My fault.
That's why Adrian and I are afraid to swim in the ocean.
I don't swim story.
We'll do one more.
Solid. I would.
I knew that.
Watching these all day.
Neither of the team may have gone down the rabbit hole. And I do not recommend competing in any type of trivia against Caleb. And we also learned that Caleb and I both played violin. So we're gonna have a little showdown next time.
Never went down the door.
Grass?
There's another.
All right, so some fun office updates. We're gonna let Ashley go first. Yep, you're up. I was gonna say you're up on the hot seat, but then that came out weird.
You're up, honey. I just have a few updates for Win More, No More, which is like my processing system. So everything's gonna be in command now. So like all your commissions are gonna be processed in command. And that goes live September 10th. So I just learned this yesterday, so I might not have a lot of answers. I have a call at 2 o'clock today to learn more. But I will give you the updates that I have and keep you all informed as we get closer to that date. So September 4th through September 10th is like our transition period for everything that's happening. So if you can, like, if you know something's closing at the end of September, or further out, if you can just avoid, submitting commission requests during that time. Because everything that happens during that period of days has to be replicated once we go live on September 10th. So if you know your closing's happening in advance, you can just hold off on submitting it or submit it early, like before the end of the month would probably be the best time. And everything that closes during that time period, you will get paid on it, but you're gonna have to re-enter your commission again after it goes live between the 4th and the 10th, because it's the replication period of when they're putting everything over. Yes, Matt?
Yeah, I mean, if somebody's using Precision DC, do they have to think about this?
No. DC will take care of it for you.
No. Thanks.
But they will get it handled for you. So if you can just, and we can send out an email, to everyone to remind them about that as well. So deductions, we're like, you all have to put in your broker fees, 300 deduction that goes on. I can start, once this goes live, I can have it on all of your commissions already, like you don't have to add that in. So I can add that, I can add any other recurring deductions, so like for the Simon Henry team, the Sean, the TC fees, those can all go on already, and I can assign them to specific agents, so like everything that Tammy and Chris works with, like all those agents, so they can already be assigned, and put on there. And then I can make it so you're able to edit, the amount of it as well, so for like specific situations, like it is editable, but it's just nice to already have it on there, so you guys don't have to worry about doing that extra step. So if you have any of those that want to be added, and it can also be a percentage too, so like there's a lot more flexibility with this, and it makes it easier.
And easier means less errors in the future. So that's what's in it for you, is the more control you have, the less duplication of entry. Right now, it's in 3 different systems, means less error.
Yes. So when I do add like all of like the deductions, if I add it to your commission, you're gonna get an email about it. I just wanna like warn you guys, you don't have to do anything about it. It's just notifying you that like it's been added, to your deductions. Let me see what else I have here. Okay, so once your commission is submitted, I think this is the next big change that I have right now. It's like submitted, like there's no changes. So like if you're like, oh, I took this amount off to help get this to closing, or I took a little bit less to help get this to closing or more. If there's any changes, you have to email me to get those changes in. Now, since it's all living in command, you don't have to, there's like a notes box at the bottom. So you can just put that notes in there, and then I'm able to go in whenever the checks come to me, make that change. And then it doesn't have to worry about getting lost in my, well, whoever's email box that gets a lot of emails in it. And then, so it's gonna say request termination in there, and you ask, like, that means you have to restart everything. You don't wanna request the termination unless like the deal actually terminates. If it's any small change, just use that notes box in there and you'll be able to, like, the change will happen once things go. And I think there is a way to push it back then too, so like you guys can make the change for yourself. If it's a bunch of things changing at once. I think that's everything I have right now. The deductions is like the biggest thing that's changing. And it's gonna make everything a lot easier for everyone. Like I said, I do have classes all this week that I'm attending, so I can get all the information to you guys as soon as possible. So I will send out emails with updates the rest of the week.
And just for clarity, so Ashley, her official last full day in the office, Friday the 16th. But you are still gonna see her over the next couple of weeks as she is helping us we have Support Speedy, which is a company that's processing your checks right now. She's making sure that transition goes smoothly for you, so she's still checking that email. I'm working with the leadership team to make sure that there's no bumps in the road that we couldn't foresee before her actual last day. She's still helping us with small class, women's masterminds. We're still gonna be seeing Ashley. You can continue to email the finance email. There will be somebody checking, but just know that she is helping us. And when the new MCA joins, she's just a phone call away. If we do run into something that we need her assistance on. So it's the beauty of having a transition. And we're very grateful that she's going to stay on that. Thank you. Any questions for Ashley? I know that was a lot. We'll make sure all that is in the.
I have the notes. Okay, go need.
Also like to welcome Beth Shake as our official Carlisle Director of First Impressions. So one thing with Ashley's role, and last quarter, the leadership team had all agreed that we would rotate with that role in the Carlisle office. And sometimes things look better on paper than when you actually do that. And we realized it just wasn't feasible for our jobs to be distracted and pulled away from the front desk as much as we were. So we realized that we really just need a friendly face that can sit in the office at least 3 days a week to help with those incoming checks. Whenever there's heavy closing days, best plan is to watch that calendar, the Carlisle conference room calendar, to make sure that she's scheduled on those days when possible. So just big welcome to Beth for raising her hand and taking on that position. I know I didn't have to use yet, anything to add?
Update the calendars, put your requests in so that I can be there when your clients come in, and when settlements are gonna happen, because if I don't know, then I don't know who I'm greeting. I don't know where to put them, so that would be the biggest help.
Absolutely. Checks pickups will still be happening once a day. So, escrow checks will be logged when Beth is there, so that way we're notified when they do come in. Commission checks. You are welcome to drop them off at the Carlisle office. Please know that the MCA is going to be in the NOLA office. So faster processing, you can drop it off here going forward. So I know that might be a big change for some of you, but what we realized as a team, having the MCA in the current office, not only just made it difficult for them to do their job at a high level without making mistakes and answering the front door. It also just made a disconnect in the team. So what we found is the more people that were on Google Meet, even just for a huddle, the people on Google Meet were the ones that tended to feel the most disconnect. So we need to make sure that we're all together in the office for those meetings. Because that's just how we row the boat better. It's kind of hard to row the boat when they're in a separate boat. Make sense? Awesome. We'd like to do some welcome. You were doing such a good one. So we do have a couple.
Question.
Oh, yes.
If we are dropping off the commission check in Carlisle, will we put them in Beth's mailbox or someone else?
I think you would still put them in the same mailbox. Yes. Yeah, we'll probably just change the label from Ashley to Nola. But yeah, we'll keep it in the same exact spot. That's a great point. We'll make sure we tell you what we relabel it when we do, but for now. Yes, yeah, great question. Any other questions? Okay. Super. So we have some new agents that have joined us in the month of July. Some of them are here and some of them couldn't be here, but Melissa just joined us. She came from another brokerage, actually in my hometown of Chambersburg, but she is a Carlisle girl, so she's going to be mainly functioning out of the Carlisle office. So we want to welcome Melissa. She does work full-time during the day, so she was not able to make our team meeting today, but welcome to Melissa. Yes, welcome, and thank you, Drew Richmond, for teeing up that conversation. Absolutely. Miss Jennifer Layton. Jennifer, you met for a little earlier. We welcome to the Keller Williams family and the Precision TC family, which is amazing. And Antonio. Antonio recently got his license and we are very excited that he decided to partner with KW. And just like Antonio has been showing up before his license was even here. So just kudos to you, just putting in the work.
Thank you.
Right, 100%. And Miss Tasia Butler came to us. She had done quite a few deals and had had many conversations, in her real estate business with Shanice. And her and Shanice got to chatting about what it might look like for her to move her business to, Kelly Williams. And that's exactly what she did. So we're really excited to have Tasia. Yeah, thank you, Shanice. Yes. You're welcome. Plus.
Go get.
You're kind of branded today for A plus, actually. So you can go up too if you want.
Hi, guys. My name is Angie. I work with A plus, and this is Jeremy. We are your in-house lender. Rates today are both under 6%. So I got a conventional quote at 5.99 with 5% down. And then the possible is still at 5.875. So rates are looking good. They've been pretty stable for the last couple of weeks, slowly going down. So hopefully we see that continue to trend. So if you have anyone that's being quoted in the high sixes, please have them call me. I've been able to beat a couple people in the last couple of weeks, and that saves your client a lot of money.
Also want to talk to you about our company a little bit and about 10-year in experience. I've been doing this for 22 years as of November, so it's coming. And we process our own files, working with the lender to get them closed. That's a lot different than other companies where your customers' files being passed off from one place to another. It means that we have a ton of experience figuring out problems or noticing them before they become problems. Okay, guiding your customer through the process. It also means that when other lenders turn your customer down, it might not be a dead deal. I mean, sometimes it is, but we've had 3 occasions in the last week where we've gotten calls from agents from Keller Williams saying deals falling apart. Maybe Federal's turning them down because of this issue. We're like, that's not an issue. It called my rep. I was like, is this an issue? Because I didn't think it was. And they're like, no. So, and she has that deal and she's working through it, and we're waiting for them to transfer appraisal, which they're taking into agonizing a long time to do. Or been that one done. Other ones are just people don't know how to calculate income when it's a little bit complicated. You know, we do. Okay. A gentleman that's moving here from Alabama, he is retiring from the Navy, and he just has retirement income, so he can't qualify on his own. So his father-in-law is going to co-sign for him. His father-in-law has income from about 7 different sources, and obviously the lender dealing with them isn't able to figure out how to calculate it because it works easily, and they're saying it doesn't. They're telling them they need 50% down. They don't. They can do it with less than 20% down. So that said, we're experienced, we know what we're doing, and we would be happy to help you with any of your customers, so any of your clients. So just keep this in mind. We're just a phone call, text, or email away. We answer the phones after hours. We answer the phones on the weekends. So just give us a shout. So,
hey, can I just say that I've been trying to get some deals over to A plus for quite some time, and I ran into an opportunity over the weekend. It was like a Sunday night, and we needed a pre-approval, and I know that I would have had a really hard time. But I had the confidence to ask them to call Jeremy directly. He picked up, got him under, and it's just really smooth and really nice deal.
Thanks.
Thank you.
First off, I'm missing my cell phone, so if anybody sees a little green cell phone. I've only been in like, 60 square feet, so. But I'm Jess Regan with Original Abstract. It's so nice to see so many people here today and in the sub quarters. I just want to say, A plus just went off the floor, but we were successful in doing a mock settlement. We have had it recorded. It will be published soon. And so what this was, we put together with Miri Productions. The creative, yes. And we put together a mock settlement for those new agents coming on, or just an agent that wants to see kind of the fundamentals of what a settlement looks like. We did a great plug for Precision, so thank you for lunch and thank you for being such an incredible support. I just wanted to, say the one thing for title, and it's so nice when you work with a transaction coordinator because of the fact that all the details are in there, but right now with contracts changing, it is critical that you let title know and lending know if there's any commissions being paid by your buyer. So if you don't work with a transaction coordinator that is communicating to your lender and title company, it is really important that you tell them, are they paying transfer tax? Are they paying a broker fee? Are they paying additional commission? If you guys are using the compensating commission form, make sure that you're sending that if that's the only place that it shows what you're charging. Every penny counts. If the lender doesn't know that the transfer tax is not included, that the buyer's not paying both sides and they only disclose one side, the lender has to eat that. Title companies, we need to have all of those things and we hate making day of changes. So as an added plug for TCs, because they get everything to us up front with a nice intro cover letter. But if you're not using one, or if you need help setting one up, Ashley or I would be happy to sit down with you and tell you everything we need at title. If you're a new agent starting and don't feel like you can afford, even though I could say you can't not afford a TC, but if you need something where you just want to put together kind of a checklist, an intro to lenders and to title, I'd be happy to sit down with you and put that together for you. So that's it for me. Oh, and thank you for all the support. A lot of you have seen the meal train email come around. Amy, who our title agent, her husband had a stroke in the midst of her house flooding last Friday. The support has been unbelievable. The meal train we're putting on hold because she is a little overwhelmed. But we really appreciate all the monetary donations because he's gonna be out of work for some time and she's trucking back and forth. You will see me in more settlements, because I am covering for her on times that she's got David to PT. So really appreciate all your support.
Yes, and I'll just, add on to that. We've had a handful of just hard things happening, with our agents. Sometimes I have permission to share, sometimes I don't, and I'm not gonna share unless I have it in writing that I can speak to it, because especially when it's something medical. With that being said, I absolutely love being a part of this family because the outpour of support when we do go to the handful of people that we're allowed to tell is always just, what can I do? Like, is it time? Is it money? Is it coverage? Do I need to write offers? Like, it is just absolutely incredible how much this group of people is willing to come together, even for folks that, you just haven't been able to do that well. So I just want to point that out because it's been a rough month, so to speak, and you guys are just awesome.
Yep.
So
Thank you.
thank you. Get your cameras ready. All right, guys. We head into the end of third quarter and into fourth quarter. We have a lot of events, and it's because we know we need to set you up for success at the end of the year so that you take half. Not apologizing for my language, in the first quarter of next year. So, first up, if this would let me go, it keeps just scrolling. Would you be able to? Okay, we gotta let it fly. Patience is not my virtue. Hold on, technical difficulty, that's what we're gonna do. We're just gonna go right. So quick reminder, PAR forms, your last one is August 23rd. These are recorded, you've been putting them in the need to know for weeks. Please, please, please watch them. Read your forms, and then the one that Scott, Gary, and I did, mainly Gary did, is in your ThinkPic portal. We could not put that one on the YouTube because of the things that we did talk about. We were just worried that it would put us more at risk, so that one we did have to make sure that it was either maybe even access. All blast, September 20th, you all spoke about wanting this a little earlier in the year because of all the pie giveaways and Thanksgiving. We listened, tickets are now for sale, t-shirts are for sale. What's in it for you? This is a plug and play client appreciation event. Minimal expense to you. The company takes on all the risk and the work with our committee of finding the sponsors, the food trucks, the entertainment, all of the things. All you have to do is buy the tickets to invite your A+ past clients or partners that are gonna. And then you just show up. So this is one of our best events of the year. Can anybody in the room just give me a 10 seconds why do you fall down? And then check.
We went all in on Fall Blast last year. I think we had probably 60 some odd, 70 some odd people there, and we can directly say we got 4 pieces of business out there. And we didn't necessarily talk about real estate there, but it was just people that were talking about all the other things, and they're like, hey, you know what, I need to do an investment property, or hey, we're gonna have to sell my dad's place. They're like, great, let's set up an appointment for that, and literally called them the Monday afterwards, where we can directly attribute at least 4 pieces of business to that one. And that's just the obvious ones. So it's worth it.
Yeah, we had about, I don't know, 60, 70 people that came last year also, and it was just easy for us to, like you said, play. You just sent out the invites and everything else was done for us. We did our own little decorating, you can decorate your space the way you want. But we have people now, we have people already earlier this summer saying, what is that fall thing that happened again? They liked it and they wanted to be invited back.
We're looking forward to it. Yeah, I love that. Leadership is gonna have a tent this year, as well. But make sure if you buy, was it more than 10 tickets? We'll get back to you on that, but there is a ticket number that if you buy more than that number, we are gonna ask that you have a tent. Because what happens is your clients start to kind of wander and they're like, oh, this tent looks cool, and then they start like. Oh, yeah. Looking at other people's tent offerings, so if you have a lot, make sure they know to go to your tent and not other people's tents. So that's a great problem to have. So we have a lot of fun. Bold is coming up. You can now register for Bold. Starts October 8th. It'll be from 9 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. This is the boot camp to get your butt in gear, to set good habits, get in a right mindset. We absolutely saw an increase in production in January and February that we can attribute to Bold. Trent couldn't make it today, but he had, I think it was 19 pieces of business that he can directly correlate to his time in Bold. Anybody else in the room would be willing to give a quick testimonial on those tales and getting videos? I'm looking at Adam.
Yeah, you are. Okay, I'll just say words. I didn't want to go to Bold last year. I was like, that's stupid, but I was having a really hard year, honestly. I just was, yeah, it was a really, yeah, it's a tough time. So I went to the first step, I'm like, yeah, whatever, I'll just sit through this stupid thing. But then by the end of it, I'm like, man, this is it, bro. Like, this is it. So I signed up all the way, and it was so good. It was a kick in the pants for me. We got my head right, and yeah, my first 2 months, first quarter were killer because of the residuals from that. So
I have to attest to that as well. I had an awful year, came here, did Bold for the first time. And I was invited to the top producer breakfast. And I can attribute that to Bold, being able to be in that top percentile felt really good. And I attribute it to that for sure. And I felt the same way. This is gonna be done, and it really wasn't at all.
And I'm gonna read in between the lines of what Adam said, that I twisted his arm and I made him go. And please know that it always comes from a place of love. And I'm only gonna prescribe it if I think it's actually going to help you. So I won't give you vitamins you don't need. But Bold is the vitamin that every single one of you need, and you will regret not taking if you miss out. So. Awesome. Women's Mastermind is gonna be October 24th. I haven't been able to release too many details yet because I am excited that the Greater Virginia region has agreed to help partner with me on this event this year. So I'm gonna have some meetings with them coming up, but we do have Andrea Ferry. She's gonna be speaking on how to have crucial conversations in business lined up as one of our keynote speakers. We've got some different panelists that we'll have. And again, my goal with this is for it to be well-rounded, just like all of our other events. We'll have someone speak to the crucial conversations. We're gonna have someone speak to wealth building, work-life balance, events, all things to help you grow as a person, a leader, and as a businesswoman, with the opportunity to then network with other women from other industries. So save the date, more details coming very soon. All right, so some July celebrations. Individual agents for the $1 Million Club, Tracy Georgia. She should just wear this shirt. This is Tracy's shirt, and then Alec Dorman. Million Dollar Club, 4 teams, look at all that.
Whoa. Wow.
Whoa, we're gonna need smaller headshots. Bigger TV, yeah, or bigger. I love it. Congratulations, all of you. Top producers, our top 10 individual agents. We got some new names on here and some repeats, so congratulations. Right. Closed units for top producers. This means you've had at least 3 or more closed units in the month of July, so congratulations. Closed volume, top 5 teams. Congratulations. Top teams for closed units. Numbers. All right, board report for July. I love seeing this. So this column is your percent change for Bright MLS. So this is all the other brokerages and how they're doing. And then this is the percent change for just Keller Williams of Central PA and how we're doing. And I just want to point out, look at us for closed units. So 29% increase compared to 17.8%. I also want to point out listings taken in units and in volume. So we're up, this is the comparison rounded. So compared to the market, we're another 6% higher. In listings taken volume, we're another 7% higher. And then listings sold units were another almost 20% higher. And listings sold volume were another almost 28% higher. So when we look at these reports, what it's telling us, at least for the leadership team, is what we're doing is working. So one thing that we always want to make sure is our education calendars, our small group topics, the things that we're promoting to help nurture you and your business are helping you grow. And you are absolutely outpacing the market. So congratulations. Now I'm on the hot seat, state of the company. So first, before I get started, I do just want to say, because I was traveling last week for Mega Camp, and this month has been a little hectic. There's a lot of changes happening. Just a lot goes on in the month of August to prep for the rest of the year. I gave Caleb like really poor instructions on how to make my slides. Told him about a conversation I had with my coach, and I'm like, this is kind of what I'm envisioning. And when he sent it to me last week, it was literally almost perfect. I think I had to make 2 changes, neither of which were his fault because my instructions were about clear as mud. So I just need to give him that shout out. What?
We're not. People that choose career lanes. The highs and lows, the go, 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 all out, all the time. You know the way normal people act when they've had too much coffee? We wake up that way. Then we actually have coffee. We smile. We're positive. We're encouraging. We're full of energy, enthusiasm. Never say die. And onward to the next listing. And we'll find that perfect house. We'll find that perfect buyer. It's out there. It's out there. It's out there. I promise. Don't worry. I'm here for you. Here for you. Let's do it open house. I understand, you know, no, of course it's not terrific. No, it's not too late to go, sure I can, sure I can. Sure, we can do that. Because we can do anything. We love it. But it's exhausting. Of course, we can't show that because we're not normal people. That's even more exhausting. We chose this career for one simple reason. We're all crazy. The housing market is slow. We're the ones who keep their spirits up, they get down. Make them happy. Our success comes from their success. That's what makes this crazy. Our success depends on things we can't always control. Sometimes the planets have to be in alignment. And make no mistake, we're out there moving those planets. We moved heaven and earth for our plants. And we make it look easy. Yeah. We'll run into things we can't control. It makes us crazy. Easy. This market is a slow market. We charge the storm because we're KW. But the thing is it's gonna be wet. There's gonna be lightning and thunder, douse mile an hour wind. It's gonna be hard to keep going. Because somebody said, we charge the storm, that's the fastest way. That's true. This storm is huge. Wet. We're exhausted. Sometimes we're only smiling on the outside. We get tired of being positive all the time. And so we rest, we recharge. We do something weird that makes us feel all strange inside. We actually take care of ourselves. Take a class, a course, level up, cluster games and strategies, study the models, skip the coffee, go straight to happy hour. Put one of your cell phones, go to voicemail every now and then. Take another class, coaching, training, talk to people. Talk to people you don't have to sell. You don't have to encourage. You don't have to convince them. Because they're not. But don't ever let yourself start to believe you're like anyone else. Because that's not you. That's not us. We're crazy people. Running through a storm. Your thing is icing. Let it icing across the storm. To get to the other side. Your thing is, everyone in this room, that makes perfect sense. Because we are not normal.
What did that mean to you?
We are not normal people.
We are crazy.
Then I'm not the only one.
I'm glad I'm gonna fit right in.
The bedroom too, and burn your computer or the cell phone off of it. Yeah. Just unplug and not talk to anyone.
We all need that for sure. We all need that for sure. Any other comments? I definitely, when I watched it, I felt like our whole office could fit in that video. From the small groups to the Education Tuesday rooms being full, to all the agents collaborating with each other, knowing when we gotta be on and knowing when we can be off. We're definitely not a normal bunch, and there's nobody else I would personally rather be in business with than all of you unnormal crazy people. So thank you very much for being here today. All right, so we're gonna get into some data quick, but I promise I'm gonna make it fun. So we show these graphs not to gloat. So I know that earlier this year, these graphs created a little bit of a shitstorm on the social. But what we like to do for internal purposes is it does help tell the story. Because back when I became team leader, we were in this position. And now we're here. And we're so close to being here. And why growth is important is because profit protects people, profit protects profit share. And we're gonna go over all of that with you today. So I don't want you to sit here and think, oh, we're talking about growth again. Because at the end of the day, it does all come back into how we can empower people to reach goals and dreams. When we look at these stats, it just lets us know how far we've come. You know, when you look at the numbers, this is great for my picture people, my visual people, and then this speaks to my mathematical people. But this slide is just telling us that we only sold about 6.3% fewer homes than all the Remaxes in our central PA region. When you see Remaxes, there's little brokerages, I mean, everywhere. They can open up right next door to each other if they wanted to. So when we take that into account, I think we're doing pretty good. We sold more than 6.84% than Berkshire Hathaway, more than 15% than Coldwell Banker, 70% more than Iron Valley. And I think the rest of the slide just speaks to itself. We looked at our lore earlier. This might be. Well, anyway, we looked at our lore earlier for just July. But I do want to point out, this is how we're doing year to date. I apologize about the title. I think it's wrong on this one, but again, the story is telling itself. We're outpacing the market in units, in volume, in listings taken, volume. And again, this just lets us know that what we're doing is working. So when you hear people say, well, I don't want to have to plug into systems and models, and I just want to do my thing. And why would I want to go to a brokerage for an 85-15 with a capping model? You know, I'd rather just go at 100% and do it myself. This shows that throwing spaghetti at the wall and seeing if it sticks doesn't work. Systems and models and a great brokerage with a collaborative environment that supports strong families and businesses. That's work. Be rubbing of eyes. I promise this is going to get fun, and I'm talking about it. We're about to get out our pencils here soon. So, since 2021, we have grown an agent count. So from 168 or 140 agents at the end of 2020, down to 215 agents year to date. The reason why, as a brokerage, we look at agent count is to units as closed units is for your business. So when you think about growing your business, making sure that you're on pace to hit your goals, you don't want to be blinded by volume. You want to make sure you're focusing on units. And for us, that's agent count. And you might be wondering, well, why does that matter? Oh, hold on. We'll get there in a second. So here it just shows how much we've grown in the last year. This is why it matters. So this is a representation of how many cappers that we have reset in each month. This helps us ensure that our bills are covered. Why does that matter to you? Well, we're a profit sharing company. So if we don't have good coverage in some months like June, then our profit share might be lower. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. So as you look at this, I want you to think about your own business. So I believe there is a hand up here. All right, I'm going to steal this one. Right here. I want you to think about the listings that you've taken in the last year. Some of you might know this offhand, some of you, this might be your homework tonight. But when you think about your listings for the last year, I want you to go through and for every month, put an X in the box with how many listings you have in each month. So when we look at our monthly peppers, when I have a new agent come on board, we might be able to give them a couple months where they don't have to pay that company dollar. And it's win-win because I can place them in a month that might be lower, like November, so I can linearize the market center, make sure that our bills are paid, profit share is up. That helps us take on risk when we plan events like Fall Blast and Bowl, because we're responsible for that bottom line, whether we get enough sponsors and ticket sales or not. So when you look at it for your listings, I want you to visualize where could you winterize your sales business. So when a lot of us experience the market like this, getting a good idea on how you can winterize your listings will help you be more like this. So how can you make sure that you're prospecting enough 3 months prior to that gap to make sure you're filling that gap with more listings? When you have a listing that's coming on at the end of October, maybe you already have enough listings in October. Would it make sense for you to have a conversation with that seller to get them in the beginning of November? So what I want you to do is just focus on the way that we focus on winterizing our market center. How can you winterize your vacant? So that way you don't feel the stress during the months that you don't have a lot of listings coming in. Some of us in this room are really great with our money. We can say, oh yeah, when I have a stellar month, I'll save it. But most of us, we're humans, things happen, and we're not good at being that disciplined when it comes time to money in our bank account. So when you think about your listing business, we treat the market center business a lot in the same manner. With this being said, who here receives profit share? So it's the same thing. Does your profit share look more like this or like this right now? Be honest. It's this one, for sure. For sure, our profit share is like this. 1 month, I think I got $11, and then another month I got 400, right? So my goal, the goal of mine for next quarter is gonna be to help our cap management system get more like this. So that way our profit share is more consistent across the board. When agents get excited about profit share, everything else gets easier. So that's why agent growth is so important. And that's why we were so excited last month. The majority of our new agents that joined were because of a simple tip from Shanice to myself, Drew to Adrian. They didn't have to recruit, they didn't have to take these appointments, but all they had to do was have a conversation, and it makes it win-win for everybody. Just to give you some math behind it, profit share year to date. So far this year, we've already profit shared $114,884. So that's at the end of July. Just to put that into perspective, last year, for the whole year, we profit shared $144,000. So far this year, we've already profit shared more this year than we did alone in 2022. So this is going to be a combination of agent growth. And it's also a combination of the leadership team being really mindful of cutting back expenses and having profit conversations on a regular basis. A great job, team. Caleb put this together for us. So in 2023, from January to June, we profit shared 81,544. We had done 97,000 this year. Our average monthly profit share in 2023 was 12,000. And this year we're up to 16,000. 2023, we ended at 144,000 in profit share. And this year we're projected to end at 160,000. So it'll be our 5th highest profit share in the company history of KWCPA. Listings taken year to date, we're all at the end of July, we were at 603 listings. Just to put it into perspective, last year we were at 854. So the work you guys are putting in is definitely working. And what I do want to point out, look at January and February and March. So we had bold in October. And we typically say that those results show up a couple months later, right? 2 to 3 months later, we're going to start seeing it. January of 2024, we had 88 listings taken compared to the year before where we only had 61. In February, we had 73 listings taken. Year prior, we only took 51. And then in March, we had 104 listings taken. And compared to the year before, we only took 84. And we 100% contribute that to bold.
Did it bold last year?
Okay. Never mind. So 2023 comparison, January to June, 432 listings. This year from January to end of June, 518. The average monthly listings was 71, and this year it's 86. We're gonna project to end around 930 listings compared to last year of 854. So congratulations, guys, that deserves a huge. Now, we will talk about average sales price, but I do want to point out, and who here came to Joseph Bellini's business planning? Couple of us in this room. So he reminded us to focus on units, not volume, but it's still fun to talk about volume, but volume sometimes can distract us. And we end up getting ourselves on a slippery slope where we can easily get behind when we think we're ahead. So just keep that in mind. But Caleb did put this together. So in previous years, January through June, our average sales price was 258,000 in 21. In 2022, it was 277. In 2023 is 289,000. So you can see in 2021, there was drastic growth. And now our growth is much smaller. So again, this is where you want to start focusing more on units than volume, because we have more control of our business in terms of units than we do in terms of volume. And these are our closed units year to date. You can see here we have been consistently growing since about 2017. Each year we're going up, except right here we did go down in 2023. When we talk about a shift in the market, this is where inventory is going to get a little bit tighter. And we're, again, what we talked about earlier is Gary Keller said, those that are doing the work are going to hit their business goals compared to those who are not. So some of us are going to be ahead, and some of us are going to fall behind. Which bus do you want to be? Closed unit comparison just year over year. We are going to project for the highest closed units in the company history this year. Some of our rocks for last quarter, Adrian, you want to talk about your rock for last quarter?
Sure. So my rock for last quarter was basically to work on systematizing our onboarding and offboarding process. We have tons of resources that we use as a leadership team, including Monday.com, that's just a great project management system. If you're not familiar with it, that we use. We have just streamlined everything to make it as automated and efficient as possible to help our new agents get plugged in, get started, and make their way into the business a lot quicker. So that was what I was working on last quarter.
And for me, I started putting the stuff in place, if you will, for Fall Blast Women's Mastermind. Just gearing up to start the planning in place. Part of that was getting an event planner just to help us streamline that process, as well as try to find better ways to run these events. So we're not an event planner. So what is it that we're missing? Just like people hire us to help them with their real estate transactions. We decided, well, what could it look like if we hire an event planner? Would the investment help us save money, find alternative ways to make these events better for all of you? We also took some time to finalize our new accountability chart, and I'll talk about that more in a minute. And then Ashley worked on documenting processes and updating workflows, which sounds really exciting. What does this mean for you? First off, a lot of you will pop into our office for like a quick got a minute, and sometimes we look really focused and we're really busy. It's because we are. So there's a lot of things that we're constantly working on to help move the needle forward to make your experience better. The more efficient that we can be, the better and more present we can be for all of you. But just like we educate you to have systems and processes, so as you grow your businesses, it's easier to plug other people into them. We're trying to do the same as a market center.
And then Matt, you were not prepared, but do you have anything to add about your role?
No, my intent was to just, update the P and G for the NAR settlement and make sure that, we had all of our risk, provisions in place, and in doing so, I realized that the entire thing had gotten to the point where it started out as a logical document, and then we just, over the years, just kept adding things in random places, and so we ended up blowing it up, and rewriting it, and we are in the process of having numerous team members review it and make sure that it's, relevant, accurate, and up to date, so that'll be coming out. So it's gonna take a little bit longer, we needed the new forms to come out.
For sure. And just to back up, I probably should have started with what is a ROC. So we follow EOS, which is an entrepreneurial system that allows us to plug into their system so that way we can stay focused to grow our business. It's how we run meetings. It's how we business plan for the years. And part of that is when we come up with our year goal. So kind of think about your 411 and you're thinking about your year goals at the top. We chunk that down into bite-sized pieces into our quarter rocks. So every quarter, I know you've seen that we've been out of the office for a day or two having these quarterly leadership meetings. And that's what we're working on is how far are we from our goal? What is the thing that we can work on for the next 90 days to help us move closer to that? And at the end of the day, it's always can we better serve our agents and empower all of you to reach your goals and dreams? What can we do to make our systems better? When it comes time to the P&G, it sounds boring, but we point to it a lot, right? So when things come up, that's the document that we're gonna refer to help you. So that's what we worked on Q2. When I mention EOS, this is the doc that we're always referring to. So this is our ETO. We made some changes for core values, which we're excited to talk about in a minute, but this aligns our values, our core focus, our 5-year target, our marketing strategy. Some of this should sound really familiar to you. This is in almost every post that we do, is empowering people to reach their goals and dreams by providing a collaborative community, supporting strong families and businesses. So we're looking at our goals and our rocks, like, does it align with that pitch? Does it align with that purpose, cause, and action? Is it related to our 3 uniques and our proven process? So our proven process, we believe, is to be engaged leaders who coach, train, and utilize proven systems and models. For us, that's leading by example. This keeps us ultra focused on who we're looking for. So we're looking for growth-minded agents in Central TA who seek to grow in their life and business. So earlier in the mega panel, Matt mentioned having a niche and knowing exactly who you're targeting to work with. Doesn't mean that we can't attract other people, but this just helps us keep our blinders on and stay ultra focused because it's really easy to get distracted by shiny object syndrome. So this just keeps us perfectly in line with what the 5-year goals are and who we are as a company. So one thing that we do in these quarterly meetings is we challenge the PTO. So we ask ourselves, is this still who we are? Is this still important to us? Is this still the direction we want to head? And I think we had one of the best discussions we've ever had as a leadership team around core values. So for a leadership team, when I'm hiring, so for example, I'm hiring a new market center administrator. So if you know of anybody who might make the good MCA, I'd love to talk to them. But I'm looking to make sure that they have all of these values. So we changed them. We kept positivity because we feel like that is important overall. We need to be positive people. We kept integrity because we also believe that is important. But we added collaborative because we're constantly talking about how we're a collaborative community. So if we have somebody on our leadership team who's not collaborative, do you think that might be a rub? Yeah, so we decided to add collaborative. We do believe in growth mindset. For me as a team leader, my team has to be willing to invest in their own personal development, whether that's reading, listening to podcasts,
If they are not growth minded and not willing to work on themselves, they're not gonna row the boat well with our team. So we definitely got that. And then another word that we swapped out and added was ambitious. So something on our leadership team that's really important is we've got a small staff with a lot of jobs. And we have to be able to be very resourceful. So if we're constantly leaning on too many people on the team, then it's too many people having to work on one thing, which needs less people to be able to serve you. So what we added was I needed a team full of ambitious people, which I think is what I have. You know, and Caleb took these slides and just ran with it. That was ambition. He was resourceful. He looked at some Canva templates and he's like, I think this is what Brittany wanted. And it's definitely a characteristic that he has, and it's something that's important to me to have on our team. Do you want to add anything about that conversation? I felt like that day we went, don't tell Dave Cook over there, but we went way over time on the agenda on challenging our core values. So we just felt like it was so important.
Yeah, no, I'm just grateful that we had the opportunity to really sit and evaluate them, and I think that Matt had said that it was like the first time that 6 years or something that.
First changes.
In 6 years that, you know, and yeah, and I'm just grateful to work in an environment where we have the ability to do that, right, and to make these sort of decisions and to collaborate, so it's good.
I would agree. And in your packets, we included a blank BPO for you. We've taught some of you to do this, some of you have already started doing it. But it's really important to know who you are and who you want to be as a business. What are your 5-year goals? So you can break it down into a 2-year chunk, into a 1-year chunk, and then quarterly chunks, just like these lists. Because sometimes when we look at all the things, you come back from mega camp and you're like, I want to be that person on stage, but it feels like this huge elephant in the room and you don't know where to start. We eat the elephant one bite at a time, and the VTO helps you bite the elephant. Eat the elephant one bite at a time. You can see here, we have our 1-year plan laid out. These are the rocks that we're currently working on for the current quarter. So Caleb, he is our director of marketing, so he officially has a title this quarter. Congratulations, Caleb. His rock is to work on sharing the KW story, because I can sell it all day long. But what people want to hear from other agents, want to hear from all of you. So that's why he's been filming more videos, old testimonials. He's been working on that. He's also been working on our case score system. So to protect us against attrition, this is going to be a important market. More agents are going to leave the industry this year than ever as a percentage. So we got to feed that through Adrian and I recruiting, producing agents like all of you. And then Caleb is also going to help bring on new agents and help them have an opportunity to see if real estate can change their lives the way it's changed all of ours. Carlisle coverage, done. Women's mastermind. Ashley is wrapping up Win More, Know More, which is going to make things a lot easier for the next NCA to come in, and hopefully, which also means smoother and faster processing for all of you. I'm working on a new affiliate program for our vendors. Ashley is going to wrap up Fall Blast. Adrian has taken on the daunting task of getting ThinkAFIC updated. So with all these NAR changes, there's obviously new videos that need to be uploaded to ThinkAFIC, and we're trying to make it more streamlined. One thing that we realized, kind of like what Shanice said earlier, and for a mega agent panel, we have a lot of awesome tools already in place. We're just not using them at the highest level. So instead of reinventing the wheel and trying to come up with this new shiny system, we're like, why don't we just use what we already have and just 10x it? So we're working on that as a team. And then Ashley also had a fun task of working on printer contracts, which is really fun guys. So just to give you kind of a light into our world, if I learned anything in the last quarter with the different leadership changes that we have, I always used to think that you guys didn't care. That you didn't really care what we did, as long as you got a paycheck in your bank account or in your mailbox, then you were happy. But I got a lot of questions. Well, what does this role do? I mean, what do you do? Why do I contact her for this? I got a lot of those questions. So I wanted to take the opportunity today to just give you an insight on, there's a lot that we do behind the scenes. And my job as a leader is to protect my leadership team's time as much as possible, because I want them to get all this stuff done so they feel excited at our next quarterly meeting and accomplished. But I don't want them to have to work extra hours. So the best we can get those GATA minutes to scheduled appointments, it just helps protect their time so they can be with their families at night, but also get a lot of this really awesome stuff that sometimes seems really boring, like the printer thing. But if you all couldn't print, it would be a really big problem. So that's a ball we don't want to drop. We want to make sure we have time for it. Any questions? I know I threw out a lot of data. I thought it was fun. Y'all look a little tired. Any questions? No.
Very clear.
I appreciate it. Well, thank you guys all for coming. We're very excited for this next quarter. We had a lot of fun stuff coming up. So.
Share the Gary Keller vision slides.
Yes, so I just got, I got the Gary Keller vision slides last week, so I'm gonna need to know. Today, I also got the CEO summit slides. So I will share.